But
yeah,
who do we want to start with?
Let's start with the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm down with the Chargers.
So Chargers barely missed the playoffs last year. What was it, that game versus Oakland, where if they would have tied, they would have both gone to the playoffs? But
was that the one where they got pissed off at Oakland because Oakland tried to like win the game or whatever?
Yeah, and then the Raiders coach took a timeout, and he should have just let the clock run because he had like no reason to make a timeout. And then the Raiders like thought it over, and they're like, "Fuck it, I guess we're gonna try to win this thing." And yeah, that's a big kick in the nuts. But also, like, wouldn't you hate it to like have your team like not make the playoffs because two teams decided to fix a game and make it a tie? Like, yeah, I think it probably worked out for the best, to be honest.
Yeah, that's pretty skeet. But I this division I was really thinking about today, and like this is one that I don't know. Like if you ask me who's going to win this division, I don't fucking know. Like I think this has got to be the most wide open one, because I mean I think there's a case to be made for all four of these teams winning this division. And I don't know if you guys read all that shit about Russ today, but like that report coming out that basically like went over like what led to him leaving Seattle.
No, I didn't see that. What was it?
So basically he blames Pete Carroll for him not winning the 2019 MVP because
I'm having a hard time following this logic, but go on.
So Lamar Jackson ends up winning it that year. Okay. But Lamar Jackson has a bye week. So but if you remember, in the first 5 weeks, Russell Wilson played out of his fucking mind.
It was let Russ cook at that time.
Yeah, let Russ cook. So Lamar gets to their bye week, and Russ is they're in a game that's like a blowout game, and they're up 24-0. He has like 2 or 3 touchdowns in the first half, and then he comes out and only throws 6 passes in the second half because Pete Carroll just wants to run the ball. And he thought in his mind that was the time to solidify his lead over Lamar Jackson because he was not playing, and Russ. So that was kind of like the turning point of the season.
Russ was like, I want my Heisman moment, Pete.
Yeah.
Like,
so this
I want to stunt on these fools, please.
And apparently it just got worse because he in 2020 there was Russ they start out 5-0, and then they just fall off, and he throws like 7 interceptions in 2 or 3 weeks. Some people in the front office were wondering, talking, is Russ trying to win games, or is he trying to win an MVP? Like, what is he trying to do here? So, and then apparently the thing that really set it off was them scouting Mahomes and Josh Allen in the draft, because they thought, in his mind, why are they looking for my predecessor? I'm 10 years in. I've been to 9 Pro Bowls. Why are they scouting my replacement? Which, I mean, I think that anybody in reality is going to scout those two guys, even if you're not looking for a quarterback.
If your team doesn't,
you're at least looking for the future,
right? Yeah, like you at least owe it a look.
Yeah, I mean, the report doesn't make Russell Wilson look good. I mean, it definitely makes him look like a diva, and more or less like he didn't like that they weren't trying to get him an MVP. And they were more worried about, like you said, they're ahead in games, and instead of putting their foot on the gas and letting Russ just fuck everybody up, they were like, let's run the ball. Let's not, like a football team. Like most football teams.
It seems like it's worked out for him in the end. He's now the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. By year. I think he's at 49, and Aaron's at like 50.5 or something like that. So fuck, man. I mean, I don't know. I don't think a quarterback fixes everything, but I think everybody forgets this Denver team. Didn't they make the playoffs last year? Like their defense, or at least their defense was definitely a playoff level defense last year.
They didn't have Cortland Sutton last year either. So, but let's
let's get into the.
So let's do the Chargers. Yeah,
we'll start with the Chargers. This is the official beginning of the Chargers. We'll start talking now about the Chargers.
Yeah. So the Chargers. I think that they might have. To me, they're my favorite to win the division. If they put it all together. I mean, if they play to if everybody stays healthy and Austin Eckler can be there all year and Justin Herbert keeps getting better, Keenan Allen, I think that, and you're hearing a lot about people like Josh Palmer. You're hearing, you're hearing some good things coming out of camp, and their defense is just so. I mean, we'll get to the defense in a second, but did anybody build their defense as well? I mean, them dudes. I mean, who is it?
They have 3 of the top big ass. I mean, they got Derwin.
They just paid Derwin James.
They got Khalil Mack, and they got
Khalil Mack. That's what
Joey Bosa. So I mean, like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean,
this is a team. I honestly think, even though with all the offensive weapons you have, I kind of like how we've already addressed this, because like, I think their defense is going to be the front running of this team. Like, they're going to be really good. I think
they're going to be good
if they can all play to the level that we've all seen them play. Then this, I mean, on paper, this is a fucking knockout defense. So
yeah,
I mean, they've literally got a probably a future Hall of Famer at all three levels. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Bosa, Khalil Mack's the first ballot, and then if Derwin James Derwin James is the best safety in the game. So it's like
And I have high hopes for Asante Samuel Jr.
And J.C. Jackson is nice.
I have high hopes for Amen Ogbong Bamiga on their third string linebacker.
Amen. I'm hoping that he finds his way.
I'm hoping they can find a jersey big enough to fit all those fucking letters on it.
I like Jasser Taylor.
Jasser. But let's go check out that offense again, because there were some. I mean, like, there's some things that worry me about this team. I like Mike Williams, but like, he disappeared in the back half of the season last year, which I was so surprised, because he's such a good player when he's on. Keenan Allen's that dude. I don't think like people he's definitely one of the more underrated, disrespected wide receivers, I think, in the NFL. Because
dude, I was doing underdog drafts, and there were like plenty of drafts where Mike Williams was going before Keenan Allen in drafts.
So what do you think? Do you still see Keenan as the number one? Because I do. I don't. I
do. Yeah. I mean, until he's not. You know what I'm saying? Like, until he's proven that he's not. I mean, the guy's just a fucking target monster. I mean, like,
right.
Even though they've got Austin Eckler and dudes that, like, I mean, and they've got a throw happy quarterback, like, he still is been the guy. You know, I mean,
I really also like the addition of Sony Michel. I think that's an incredible depth piece for them, because, I mean, yeah, Sony's inefficient at times, but he's also an NFL running back, and
he doesn't suck like Josh Kelly. So
yeah, but they're very similar. So I imagine one of them is going to be better than the other, and we'll figure out that pretty fucking soon. But yeah, I mean, this is a really good team, like you guys said on paper. Herbert, third year now. Third year now.
Yeah.
So
well, and then they've got the greatest backup quarterback in fucking football history, Chase Daniel,
who's looked really good in the preseason.
Who's looked really good in preseason. And my God, if I ever need an agent, like if I can't get Sam Bradford's agent, I need Chase Daniel's agent, because he's like the one guy that just came in day one and said, I know I'm not a starting quarterback. Like, I am just gonna fucking.
If only he knew how much money that 2007 college football season was going to make him in his life. Like, seriously, he took Mizzou to like a top 4 finish or a top 5 finish, and like, and that was the year with the dude from Kirkwood who was an Eagle, Jeremy Maclin.
Jeremy Maclin, baby.
Yeah, dude, they were that was electric back in the day, and that dude has ridden a career off that one college.
He was a Saint forever, right?
Yes.
Chase Daniel was a Saint forever.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he just watched Drew Brees tear it up.
He held a clipboard for old Brees for a while.
That was an easy job for a decade, being Breeze's backup until it wasn't.
He just fucking hung out, dude. Like, they are literally like, well, he's done really good at standing here, so we're just gonna keep re-upping him. Like, I think they just, I mean, I think he might have signed a second contract there. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but he was there for long enough to where.
Chase Daniel is Ian Book, who is like all these, like, it's like, like the Josh Rosen. It's like all these dudes are the same. It's like a factory of just like guys who are just names, like
Chase
white guys who can throw.
Yeah,
dude, perfect example.
Fucking Alex Moran. He took your shitty fucking record, and he's like, John Elway. He's like, he's like, fuck off, John Elway.
He's like, no, he goes, he's like, hasta la vista, John Elway.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Moran for life.
He goes, he just shit on your stupid your record. He goes, Alex Moran for life. Yeah, he goes, that's what he goes. He goes, I always thought you had little pussy balls, but now inside those little pussy balls, you had actual balls that are, not as big as my balls, but they're big, but bigger balls than I thought you had.
Oh my God!
But I really wish that their third string name was Eaton Stick, but it's Easton Stick, and I don't, and that would have really been tight, but it's not.
Easton Stick should have been a hockey player. I think it's his own doing that he's not, and that's why
he missed his calling.
Yeah,
he would be a top line center in the NHL and probably be making the exact same amount of money, but who cares?
Dude, what kind of curve does he got on his twig, dude?
90. I just know it. Yeah, I know it off the name. Let's check that Sketty, boys.
Yeah,
I think we're ready because we led with the defense. I mean, well, if you guys want to touch on the defense again, but I mean,
no, I'm all right. Look,
I think we're pretty confident that they're a good defense, and their offensive tackle, their offensive line's not horrible. They got like Rashawn Slater.
Yeah, we don't have the front office here to give us our fucking
dude. He's in between the trenches. He knows all the line. He's got the trench stats.
Well, he used to play O-line in like when he was younger.
Yeah,
like he was an O-lineman. I'm pretty sure.
O-lineman, he had when he was a kid, he had the body type for an O-lineman. That's for fucking damn sure.
He blew his fucking knee out or something. That's why he was
coaching. Probably fucking. I can imagine he was probably really good. Okay, guys, this is always the part where I'm gonna try to fill this gap while you guys do some thinking. But
so last year they went 9-8.
Yeah, yes. And they missed by a game. If they would have went 9-8, or if they went 9-7-1, they would have been in the playoffs.
9-8, third. That was good enough for third in the division. So I think they can improve on that.
I think, yeah, and it's crazy to think though, like everybody expects, Herbert to take another step. I think it's crazy that he was the QB2 last year, in fantasy. He threw for 5,000 yards. It's like, if this guy takes another step, then what the fuck does that look like, in terms of, wins, losses? Because if you have a guy who's throwing 40 touchdowns, 5,000 plus yards, like that's Tom Brady in his prime. You know what I mean? Like that's a Super Bowl contending team if you're scoring that much. And
it's also, Chargers quarterbacks in their prime. It's fucking Dan Fouts and it's fucking
Philip Rivers
and it's
Drew Brees until they ship
Brees. Him it's fucing Flutie.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit different in LA this year. If they don't make the playoffs this year, that is a fucking gigantic failure, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that. I mean, they've got a pretty nice first half of this. I mean, after Kansas City, they're going to rip off. They should rip off. I mean, at least 3 in a row. I mean, Denver is a 50-50. They're going to beat Seattle, beat Atlanta, probably lose to San Francisco. I mean, I think they're going to split with Kansas City, probably split with Vegas.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's going to be the downfall of a lot of these teams because all these teams are going to end up being in the AFC West, probably on the playoff bubble. And it's going to come down to how well they play in the division, Yeah,
I think they can win 10 games, 10, 11 games. I'd say 11 games is probably their max. I mean, because they have their end of schedule is pretty hard. Tennessee
10's pretty safe. I'd say 10.
Yeah.
If you guys do, let me ask you this. Do you think head-to-head, and I want you to also think about where the Chiefs were at certain times in the season last year, but do you think that the Chargers head-to-head are better than the Chiefs?
I do, yes. Especially now I think like all around, top to bottom, I think yes. But I mean, do they win games more? I mean, are they coached by Andy Reid and do they win, in crunch time? I don't know. But I mean, I think like as far as like talent, yes.
Yeah, because I see the quarterbacks as, I mean, if Herbert can take that step, it could be a wash. It's closer than people think. Then you got the better running back with the Chargers. You got the better wide receivers, probably
the better defense.
Way better defense.
Tight end you lose, but yeah, I mean, defense
tight end you lose.
Do the Chiefs still have fucking Sorensen? Because if they do, he can lose you like 3 games a year just single handedly. That dude.
Yeah, they're.
But I think I think the Chargers outlook is good. I haven't made a claim yet, so I'm gonna fall in the line and just say they're gonna win 11 games. I know you guys were saying 10. I think they can probably do a little bit better. And I think what happens is I want to see them beat those good teams this year, and that's when I'll know that this Charger team's legit. If they're only beating up on the teams that we think they're going to beat up on, and they're losing to the San Francisco's, Arizona's, Rams every single time, I think it might be spelling they need to reamp.
Well, their first 2 big games of the year on prime time, so I mean they've got a chance to prove it. I mean Thursday night and then Monday night. So
yeah.
And they got the Monday night. Yeah, so they got 2 Monday night games, a Sunday night. Well, I got 2 Sunday night games. I got San Francisco too. So they're expecting them to be good. I mean, look at that. Week 16 and 17, back-to-back primetime games. I mean, so they're pumping these dudes.
Yeah, they're hyping them big time. So yeah, I'd say 10-11 wins is not unreasonable.